Hussein and 7 co-defendants continued today. Attorneys for the defense team argued for additional time to hear from more witnesses, but were rebuffed by the chief judge. In this 15-minute portion, you'll hear from one of Saddam Hussein's attorneys, who criticizes the chief judge and the conduct of the trial. Our coverage is courtesy.
Thank you, Your Honor. As I'm sure you are aware, most courts that deal with issues of international law, particularly international criminal law, admit lawyers from many different jurisdictions. I'm sure your bench is aware. I'm sure the court is aware. That the crimes that we are dealing with in this case, the alleged crimes, the crimes in the statute of the court.
What's the crimes of the statute?
In the statute of the court.
الجرائم المنصوص عليها في القانون هذه المحكمة
are international crimes.
هي جرائم دولية.
In fact, your statute was drafted by an American.
حقيقة إن النظام القانوني الأساسي للمحكمة قد وضع من قبل أمريكيين.
So I hope that you will endure that I try to make comments.
ولذلك آمل أن تحتملوا أن أقدم تعليقات
on aspects of justice
حول مواضيع تتعلق بالعدالة
that should be ensured in any court in the world.
التي مما يجب ضمانه في أي محكمة.
And particularly in this court.
وبالتحديد في هذه المحكمة.
What I would like to point out
ما أود الإشارة إليه
are a number of deficiencies
هو وجود بعض الاختلالات
in the achievement of justice in this court.
في تحقيق العدالة في هذه المحكمة.
And I will be very specific.
وسأكون محددا جدا.
And limit myself to just the proceedings in the last 36 hours.
وأقصر حديثي على ما حصل خلال هذه الجلسات الأخيرة في 36 ساعة الماضية.
First, in violation of the court's own statute, Article 19, Paragraph 4.
أولا فيما يتعلق بانتهاك
Article 19, Paragraph 4.
بانتهاك المادة 19 الفقرة B 4 الفقرة 4 من القانون المحكمة.
The court attempted to limit the testimony of witnesses beforehand.
حاولت المحكمة تحديد نطاق الشهادة بالنسبة للشهود مسبقا.
And the court accused one of my colleagues,
واتهمت المحكمة أحد زملائي,
a defense lawyer,
وهو محامي دفاع,
of being a foreign agitator come here to insult the Iraqi people.
بأنه محرض أجنبي قدم إلى هنا to insult
the Iraqi people.
لإهانة الشعب العراقي.
These type of allegations from the side of the court draw into concern the impartiality of the court. These type of allegations from the court.
Let him understand, make him understand that he does not come here to defend the defense lawyers. He's here to defend his client, and we are not going to tolerate any contempt to court. His duty is to defend his client and not to defend his colleagues, defense lawyers. That's what he's here for.
You understand?
Do you understand?
Yes. Your Honor, every defendant, including my client, deserves a fair trial.
الحصول على محاكمة عادلة.
As you yourself recognized yesterday.
وكما أنت قلت يوم أمس بنفسك.
A fair trial is defined by Article 19 of your statute.
إن المحاكمة العادلة محددة بموجب المادة. Which article?
Article 19.
المادة 19 من قانون محكمتكم.
And Article 14 of the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights.
المادة 14 من العهد المدني من العهد الدولي الخاص بالحقوق المدنية والسياسية.
If this court criticizes any defense lawyer before the court,
إذا كانت المحكمة تنتقد أي محامي دفاع أمامها,
that reflects on the impartiality that the court is showing towards all of the defendants.
فإن هذا that reflects يعكس
On the impartiality.
فإن هذا يعكس عدم الحياد من جانبها
That the court is showing towards all the defendants.
الذي تبديه المحكمة تجاه المتهمين.
You cannot have a fair trial
لا يمكنك أن تحصل على محاكمة عادلة
when the court has accused lawyers
عندما تتهم المحكمة محامين
defending individuals before that court
يدافعون عن أفراد يمثلون أمامها
of improper conduct.
He's here to lecture us. He's not here to do his job. Tell him that he's not here to defend the law. He's just come here to get his voice heard, and he should have presented all this in writing. Just tell him that we know what his real objective. He's not here to defend any customer. He is coming here to try to make himself a fame, to try to make himself famous as an international lawyer, and shouldn't come here and give us lectures. What do you want? You're just seeking to become an international lawyer? You're seeking fame throughout this court? Well, that would be a good thing, that this trial is bringing fame to international lawyers. We know, just the way he's speaking. We know, we are veterans here.
Is international human rights law irrelevant to this court?
هل القانون الدولي لحقوق الإنسان موجود في هذه المحكمة؟
خليه هو يجاوب.
Let him answer.
You can have the answer.
خليه هو يجاوب.
You answer. Let
I
him
am trying
answer.
to do that.
إذا هو ما موجود شو هو؟
If he's here,
إذا ما موجود شلون يقدر يجي بهالصوت؟
how could he come here and address the court if the human rights is not relevant to this court?
So that can be noticed easily if there is no human.
يعني يريدون
Yes, they want to come here seeking fame. They're seeking their fame on top of the
Your Honor, human rights,
Iraqi people in the name of
human rights,
in the name of law.
حقوق الإنسان
human rights are not merely words.
ليست مجرد كلمات
They must be respected in practice.
ولكن يجب أن يتم احترامها في الواقع العملي في الممارسة.
The main point I would like to make
والنقطة الأساسية التي أود أن أقدمها
is that yesterday this court
هو أنه بالأمس قامت هذه المحكمة
irreparably violated the human rights of my client.
بانتهاك حقوق الإنسان الخاصة بموكله بشكل يصعب جبره.
Your colleague read into the record
حيث تلا زميلك القاضي
accusations
في المحضر اتهامات
of criminal wrongdoing,
حول أفعال جنائية
accusations that were
واتهامات
taken under coerced pressure
واتهامات مما تم أخذه
from defendants,
مما تم أخذه تحت ظروف الضغط
from witnesses
من شهود
who had been beaten up and arrested,
تم ضربهم واعتقالهم
held incommunicado.
واحتجازهم انفراديا.
Reading those into the record, Your Honor,
Again.
reading those into the record
إن تلاوة مثل هذه في المحضر المحكمة
indicates bias in any court in the world.
It's what?
Indicates bias.
تشير إلى التحيز.
It would
تحيز الترجمة زين.
No, it's not bias. You're not translating right here.
الحمد لله
ترجمة زين.
Translate it right.
وجانب الحديث عدم الحياد ولا تنزل
هي سيدي مش impartiality.
النتيجة
impartiality.
يلا اطفر.
Come on, let's get over this word. Never mind. Go to another thing. We know what he's saying.
Your Honor, when a court is biased,
صاحب الشرف عندما تكون المحكمة متحيزة هو
the judges involved in that act of bias must recuse themselves from the court.
فإن القاضي الذي يقوم بهذا التحيز يجب أن disqualify يجب أن يتنحى من هذه
خلوا بعض خلوا يحكي
For them to continue on the court
يحكي
لأن متابعتها داخل المحضر
deprives the defendant of a fair trial. Deprives the defendant of a fair
تحرم
trial.
المتهم من حقه في محاكمة عادلة.
This is something you will find in international jurisprudence,
وهذا شيء تجدونه في القانون في اختصاص القانون الدولي
as well in the jurisprudence of almost every national
واختصاص
jurisdiction.
معظم المحاكم الوطنية.
This is a principle of international law,
إنها مسألة تتعلق بمبادئ القانون الدولي، مبدأ من مبادئ القانون الدولي
and of domestic law.
والقانون الوطني أو المحلي.
I am trying to indicate to the court
أنني أحاول أن أشير إلى المحكمة
that if it wants to have a fair trial,
أنها إذا كانت تريد محاكمة عادلة
it must act with impartiality and not merely say it is.
فإن عليها أن تتصرف أو أن يكون سلوكها حياديا لا أن تقول فقط بذلك.
Whatever you think about me,
مهما كان ما تفكر به تجاهي
I hope you will go away and consider the actions that took place yesterday,
ولكني مع ذلك آمل أن تدرس أو تأخذ بالحسبان ما حصل يوم أمس في داخل
and whether or not they would indicate
ما حصل داخل المحكمة ما حصل داخل المحكمة يوم أمس
and whether or not they would indicate to an impartial observer. Whether or not
وما إذا كان ذلك
they would indicate to an independent observer
بالنسبة إلى مراقب محايد
that this court is biased.
أن كانت هذه المحكمة متحيزة أم لا.
Such actions poison the defense and prevent us from presenting a
إن مثل
defense.
هذه الأفعال
وإذن
تسمم
And prevent us from
تسمم
presenting a
what
defense. The defense.
تسمم الدفاع and
Prevent us from
وتمنعنا وتحرمنا من
presenting a defense.
انت واحد
من تقديم
ما
دفاعي.
واحد منكم يترجم لي ترجمة. هو
Can
الرجل
anyone
تأمل
translate it?
هذا
Here.
يستعمل كلمات
This
صعبة هو
lawyer is using very difficult words for the translator. No, Your Honor, the words are not hard for me, but
خليه
it's
خلص احنا ما ظل
just let him. We just want him to
إذا يريد
finish.
يكتبه.
If he want to write down all this in remarks, and then you gives one of his colleagues to read it for us, not to come talk to us, address us like he's a law professor.
بعد إكمال هذه
After
الأمور
this is over,
الإجرائية وإكمال
procedural, and after we finished hearing the witnesses,
راح تؤجل الدعوة
the court will adjourn
لتقديم
until
المدعي العام
the closing remarks of the prosecutor general
كذلك المدعين
and
بالحق
also the civil plaintiffs.
راح نعطيكم
And
وقت بالنسبة
this-
للطرفين أنتم
For both parties, we will give a date, one for the prosecutor general and the civil prosecution on June 19th to present their closing remarks. Both of you, whatever you choose, joint closing remarks or separate, whatever you want. I'm saying June 19th.
بالنسبة لوكلاء
And as to the defense lawyers, you'll present your closing remarks to this court on July 10th. Court is adjourned.
Saddam Hussein and 7 co-defendants will be back in the Baghdad courtroom on June 19th, when the court is expected to hear closing arguments from the prosecution. The defense will make